What if I told you that the simple fork was once considered a scandalous, unholy tool? Or that your beloved rubber duck has its roots in a substance once more valuable than gold? Get ready to be amazed by the quirky journeys these everyday objects have taken through history. Let's kick things off with something you probably use every day without a second thought: the fork. But did you know that this humble utensil was once the subject of scandal? Originating in the Middle East and making its way to Europe in the 11th century, the fork was initially viewed with suspicion and even outrage by many Europeans. It was considered an affront to God. After all, why would one need a fork when God had already provided fingers? It wasn't until the 16th century that the fork began to gain acceptance in Italy, thanks to Catherine de' Medici, who brought it to France when she married King Henry II. Slowly but surely, the fork became a staple at dining tables across Europe, transforming from a symbol of excess to an everyday essential. Next up, let's talk about your toothbrush. It's hard to imagine starting or ending your day without it, but the toothbrush as we know it today has a rather militaristic origin. The modern toothbrush was invented by William Addis in England in 1780. Addis was actually in prison when he came up with the idea. Displeased with the way his fellow inmates were cleaning their teeth, using rags and soot, he decided to create something better. Using a bone from his prison meal, he drilled holes into it, inserted bristles, and voila, the first modern toothbrush was born. Once he was released, Addis started mass-producing his invention, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now let's wade into the waters of one of the most iconic bath time toys, the rubber duck. These cheerful little companions have a surprisingly valuable origin story. Rubber, the material from which these ducks are made, was once a rare and highly prized substance. In fact, it was so valuable that it sparked a boom in the rubber trade, leading to the exploitation of native populations in the Amazon. It wasn't until the late 19th century, with the advent of vulcanized rubber, a process invented by Charles Goodyear, that rubber became more affordable and durable, leading to the mass production of rubber toys. The rubber duck as we know it today was popularized in the 1940s, becoming a staple of children's bath time ever since. Let's take a seat, literally, with the history of the chair. While it might seem like a simple utilitarian object, the chair was once a symbol of power and authority. In ancient Egypt, chairs were elaborate pieces of furniture reserved only for the pharaohs and nobility. The more ornate the chair, the more powerful its owner. In medieval Europe, thrones were designed to elevate monarchs above their subjects, both figuratively and literally. It wasn't until the Renaissance that chairs became more common among the general population, slowly evolving into the variety of styles we see today. So next time you pull up a chair, remember, you're sitting in a piece of history. And now, for those who can't start their day without a cup of joe, let's talk about the coffee mug. Believe it or not, the mug has its origins in ancient rituals. The first mugs were made from bone or wood and were used in religious ceremonies. As pottery developed, so did the design of the mug, becoming more functional and decorative. In medieval Europe, mugs were often personalized and passed down as heirlooms. Fast forward to the 20th century, and the introduction of ceramic mugs made them more accessible, turning coffee drinking from a ritualistic act into a daily routine. This everyday writing tool has a history that's both fascinating and revolutionary. The first pencils were made in the 16th century after a large deposit of graphite was discovered in England. However, the technology to encase the graphite in wood didn't come until much later. During the Napoleonic Wars, a French officer named Nicolas Jacques Conté developed a method to mix powdered graphite with clay, which allowed for the mass production of pencils. This invention revolutionized writing and drawing, making these activities accessible to everyone. And there you have it, the strange, surprising histories of everyday objects. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating content. See you next time.